Welcome to everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your interest in the work of this board, and thank you for your interest in the work of this district. For the invocation, I'll turn it over to Mr. Gilzine.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Senior Pastor Hezekiah Bradford of St. Luke Full Gospel Baptist of Zellwood, Florida. Pastor Bradford finds joy in raising up leaders, individuals who use their influence in addition to God's power, to create a world that impacts God's kingdom. He is an advocate and voice for the community. And additionally, Pastor serves as the president of the Apopka Ministerial Alliance, where he challenges those around him while modeling change before them. Pastor Bradford finds fulfillment spending time with his wife, Pastor Veronica Bradford, his children, and grandchildren. Pastor, will you lead us in prayer?
Thank you, Glenn, and to the board. We are pleased to be with you here today. Let us pray. Father, we thank you, first of all, for your divine presence, for your omnipresent. We thank you for your omniscient, because you know everything that we are going to discuss today in this meeting. You're omnipotent. You have all power, which means you change the hearts of men. We thank you, God, because we know as it was in the days of Issachar when he declared that, God, I need you for wisdom to discern the times in which we are living. We pray, God, that you would supply this board, the leaders and all of them, oh God, with a spirit to discern the things that are needed throughout the district. We pray for them in a great and a mighty way, because we understand that nothing can be done except you give us the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. Thank you for collaboration with the partners, that we continue to do the things, oh God, that would be pleasing in your sight, that would manifest itself in the growth of this community, the surrounding areas, those, oh God, that will participate. So we glorify you in that. But least but not all that we could even begin to ask or think or say. We want to thank you for that which you have already done. For you have raised up great men, this amazing board, and those, oh God, that are connected. So we pray that you continue to lead them, giving diversity in every area of life, but at the same time, blessing us to see you in the midst of all that we are doing. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, leadership and guidance, we give you glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pastor, thank you for your blessings, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with us here today. And let's honor this great nation by singing the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, let's go over our safety procedures, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the board for allowing a moment to share some important safety information with our visitors here today. We'd like everyone to know that in the event we need a first aid kit or an automatic external defibrillator, an AED, we have both of those at the front desk by the security, so we can pull those and use them as needed. We'd also like everyone to know that in the event of an evacuation, please gather your belongings, exit in an orderly fashion outside of one of the two exits. The primary exit to your right, if you're facing the front of the room where you entered the front of the building, but there's also one past these double doors to your left that will take you outside the rear of the building. Our employees, in the event of an evacuation, are instructed to meet at the ends of the parking lot, so please join them at the ends of the parking lot until emergency responders arrive and give us further instructions. Thank you very much and enjoy the meeting.
Thank you very much. We'll now hear public comments. First, Brandon Johnson, please state your name for the record, and if you're here in a representative capacity, please tell us, sir, who you represent.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. First, let me say I apologize to my mom who was watching on live. I did not give her a fair warning until 3 minutes ago. I am here because it was brought to my attention that you all are doing something amazing in terms of Relay for Life. I don't have time to give you the full story, but I'll give you a brief of it. Junior year in high school, my grandmother was informed that my aunt had breast cancer. And because at the time I was taking FCAT, I was not informed until weeks later. That took our family down a long line of tests, biopsies, chemotherapy, radiation, ultimately remission, which we were excited about. And then ultimately in my freshman year of college at Fort A&M University, the cancer returned for my aunt. The reason why I'm so passionate about Relay for Life and why I'm so excited to be here to talk to you about it and your support about it is because on April 17th, 2015, that was the last thing I could do for my aunt. As a senator at Fort A&M University and student government, I held Relay for Life on the campus of Fort A&M University, and on April 17th, I stood on the platform and talked about her story. 11 days later, my aunt transitioned from cancer. And so when I talk about Relay for Life, it's from a real personal place. Thank you all so much for bringing that back to this area. Those funds are so needed, and particularly your policy last year when it comes to indemnity payments, topping all that off for those who qualify, and the short-term disability. As somebody who has been a recipient through my aunt and our family dealing with that and the financial loss of that, that is a huge stress relief for those who ultimately are at the hands and needs of that family member who's going through that. So thank you all so much for that. Again, it's well needed, and I look forward to supporting any way that I can. And thank you all so much for your time today.
Well, Mr. Johnson, thank you for sharing your personal story today, and thank you for your public comments. Next, Ernest DeBose. Again, please state your name for the record, and if you're here in a representative capacity, sir, please tell us who you represent.
Good morning to the board. Thank you for allowing me to be here to speak. And I'm the CEO of Ducon and Ducon Plumbing. We're a local regional business, general contractor and plumbing company, and here to speak on behalf of the efforts for local businesses, and particularly with doing business with the district. And just want to speak to the impact of providing opportunities and contracts to local and regional businesses, small businesses. That is the impact not only on those businesses, but the impact to the community. What it does, particularly in our industry now, with the baby boomers retiring and shutting down businesses, it provides workforce development within the community. It provides opportunity to future entrepreneurs. It provides incentive for young people to enter the trades and enter entrepreneurship, which we're really lacking now. And so what we've determined, we've done local impact projects throughout the state of Florida, particularly Central Florida. And what we found is when we put an emphasis on local small business contracts and local workforce hiring, is number one, it uplifts the community as a whole. Number two, it provides training and workforce opportunities for the local workforce. It provides us incentives to go into opportunities to go into the middle schools and the high schools and incentivize and promote these projects and promote these opportunities to young people, which is what our industry is in dire need of doing now. It also instills a sense of pride, particularly with district and public entity projects. When people work on those projects within those communities, we found that those facilities, those properties are better maintained, they're better used, and there's more pride within those facilities and properties. So I'm here again just to speak on behalf of my companies and behalf of other local small businesses that we're thankful for initiatives to focus on small and local businesses, and we appreciate any opportunities in the future. Thank you.
Mr. DeBose, thank you for your comments. And, you know, as a public agency, we have constituents and constituent issues, and one of them is that we are here to serve the local economy, and we're here to give opportunities to businesses and entrepreneurs like Mr. DeBose. And this board is deeply grateful to Mr. Gilzine for opening up the district to more small businesses, because for a long time the district was closed to people like Mr. DeBose and entrepreneurs like him. And so we greatly appreciate your comments. Thank you for being here, and thank you again, Mr. Gilzine, for opening up the district to businesses like Mr. DeBose. Next, Michael Young. Mr. Young, please state your name for the record, and if you're here in a representative capacity, please tell us who you represent.
Good morning to the board and all those in attendance. My name is Michael D. Young, President and CEO of ACY Contractors, established in 2004. I will piggyback on the words shared by my friend, and I also say spiritual brother, Ernie DeBose. We are commercial general contractors. We have experience in K through 12, higher ed, aviation, healthcare, institutional, office, and entertainment. As a former board member of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Central Florida, and a current board member of the National Association of Minority Contractors of Central Florida, I believe that we all must be involved with improving our communities. I'm a proud graduate of the University of Florida.
Go Gators.
Go Gators. And the 2018 #1 ranked fastest growing Gator alumni. After experiencing rapid growth leading up to the devastating impacts from the pandemic, I decided to forge a new path for my business. I wanted to work with those that wanted to work with me. So I'm itching to create my own opportunities when others are reluctant to create opportunities for me. I decided to create a mentorship program to teach other contractors how to win $1 million contracts because others were reluctant to. We need those that will honor fairness and a mutually beneficial relationship. There's a publishing out there I suggest you look at, The Racial Wealth Divide, published by Prosperity Now in January 2023. It illustrates the economic disparities in Black and brown communities. We attribute our growth, ACY, to first God, to strategy, perseverance, but most significantly, we attribute our success to the opportunities and programs that were intentionally provided to give an open door, whether through mentorship or diversity initiatives. So could we have grown to be ranked as the #1 fastest growing Gator alumni without these programs? Maybe, but it will have taken twice as long. So I ask this board to consider ways to increase opportunities for contracts for folks like me so I can continue to do my part with stimulating economic change in our community. Thank you.
Well, Mr. Young, thank you for your comments, and in terms of the board's initiatives to open the door, as you said, to opportunities like your businesses and Mr. DeBose, that's why we hired Mr. Gilzine, and he's done just that, and we're very proud of that. So thank you for your comments. Debbie McDonald. Good morning, Debbie. Welcome back. We all know who you are, but for those who are here maybe for the first time, please state your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Debbie McDonald. One second, that came up fast. I thought I was number 12. I see on the agenda you have the proclamation for the American Cancer Society and the Relay for Life, which is one of my favorite things in the world for people that are going through what they are. I wanted to share a story today about a little girl named Annabelle. On January 4th, Sophie and Blake took their daughter to Epcot to see Anna and Elsa. She was a huge part of their daughter's life and a huge part of her world. Annabelle had been struggling with Down syndrome and deafness since birth, and her leukemia had come back. Although the queue to see the princesses in Norway was very long, Anna and Elsa, the Disney cast members, shut it down and shared a special time privately with Annabelle as whispers went down the long line of guests, and they all immediately understood that this was important. As they said goodbye to the sweet girl, Elsa pulled the mom in and whispered, thanking the parents for letting her love them and letting them love on Annabelle in return. That's what cast members do without hesitation or pause. They give magic. Whatever you are envisioning Disney to be, it is not. What you are fighting is simply wrong. I ask you again to look at the joy and the love these cast members give every day without hesitation and stop your fight with Reedy Creek and Disney and our surrounding communities. 9 days after the Disney cast members Elsa and Anna made a special memory for Annabelle, on January 13th, 2024, just 11 days ago, at the sweet age of 7, Annabelle left this earth, and her beloved family began planning her memorial service. The song her daddy chose to accompany the ceremony was from Dumbo, called Baby of Mine. Baby of mine, don't you cry. Baby mine, dry your eyes. Rest your head close to my heart, never depart, baby of mine. Little one, when you play, don't you mind what they say. Let those eyes sparkle and shine, never a tear, baby of mine. We live in a beautiful world that we have the opportunity to give to others and to change lives. At its core, that's what I see with Disney and Reedy Creek cast members and employees, giving, caring, and making a difference to little girls and boys all over the world. To the Central Florida Tourism Oversight Board, I ask you again to reconsider dismantling this fine organization. And in the words of one strong Princess Elsa, let it go. Thank you.
Debbie, thank you for sharing that very sweet story, and God bless that little girl, and God bless those cast members that you referred to. Thank you again for those public comments. Next, Annette Kelly, I probably pronounced that the wrong way, and I apologize, but please state your name for the record and tell us if you're here in a representative capacity.
Got kind of short here. It's an honor to be here today. My name is Annette Khalid. I'm a professor at UCF. I'm also a cancer researcher. And it's really important for me to tell you a little bit about why I'm a cancer researcher. And some facts you may not be aware of, you've heard personal stories, but did you know that 1 in 2 individuals in the U.S. may be affected by cancer? And at the same time, 90% of cancer drugs fail. So you have those two facts that, we'd have to deal with. And that's what we do in our research labs. I head the Cancer Research Division in the Burnett School of Biomedical Sciences. I'm based at Lake Nona, and that's where I have my research lab. And we've been working for many years to develop new drugs and new therapeutics. So I'm here today because the Relay for Life is very important to bring awareness to the things that we do in the research world. Because it's not just, having the money to do the research, it's letting people know what we do and why we do it. So that's why I'm here today, just to thank you all for what you're doing, to appreciate that the district is looking at the Relay for Life, and to let you know that we're working really hard at UCF in all our cancer research labs. I had 11 different cancer researchers, and we're developing new treatments and new drugs. And hopefully we'll start to make a dent in those statistics that I just mentioned a few minutes ago. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Well, Professor, thank you for your comments. I can imagine how busy you are, and the board is deeply grateful for you taking time out of your busy day to come here and express your gratitude for that. Thank you so much, Professor. Next, Marjorie Gorman. Please state your name for the record, and if you're here in a representative capacity, please tell us who you represent. Ms. Gorman.
Good morning. I'm going to read my notes here. Good morning. I'm Marjorie Guzman, the owner and CEO of Topaz Clinical Research, a service-disabled, veteran-owned business located in Apopka, Florida. At Topaz Clinical Research, we contract with pharmaceutical companies to conduct clinical trials. Our trials range from pediatric to geriatric, and we work with several physicians in many therapeutic areas throughout Central Florida. Our daily goal is to educate physicians and patients on the importance of clinical research and how it can be an addition and an alternative to healthcare. Additionally, we are contracting with an out-of-state company to provide physical exams for the Department of Defense employees at our clinic, and we are interested in growing this part of our business. I come before you today to give praise to Mr. Gilzine, his open door policy. Mr. Gilzine presented last week, Thursday, at the Apopka Chamber of Commerce on his new policies to assist small businesses and veteran-owned businesses. After his presentation, I introduced myself to him and I described the contract work that we were performing at Topaz Clinical Research, and Mr. Gilzine immediately invited me to meet with him at his office that same afternoon. Mr. Gilzine added me to his busy schedule and introduced me to team members. He made many phone calls and formally brainstormed with me for over an hour on potential healthcare opportunities for us. Mr. Gilzine has been in close contact with me since then, and his team has called me, emailed me, connected with me, and connected me with other members. He has been very supportive, and has truly opened his doors to many possible opportunities for us. Mr. Gilzine has been very welcoming, and I encourage other entrepreneurs to reach out to the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. And I'm very excited to grow my business and to provide for the needs of our community through education, employment, and entrepreneurship with Mr. Gilzine by our side. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Those are powerful comments, and we're anxious to see you grow your business and grow it here in the district. Thanks again. Next, Chris Willis. Chris, state your full name for the record and tell us who you represent. And welcome back, Chris.
Thank you very much, Chairman, and I also want to thank Debbie for sharing that amazingly heartwarming story, and our prayers go out to that family. As has become a tradition, I have some documents to present to the board. I would appreciate if they could be passed out, but I'll describe them anyways. So my name is Chris Wills. I'm here on behalf of Disney Defenders, which is the political action committee that is working to amend Florida's constitution to restore Reedy Creek and to prohibit political retaliation. And thank you for passing those out. I appreciate it. I'm here before you to discuss the two documents that are being handed out to you all. The first reason for me coming before you all, I did present 5. I'm sorry, I don't know why. Yeah. Anyways, the first document is related to what everybody across the state of Florida is talking about, which is our governor exiting the presidential campaign. And why that's pertinent to this board is because, as you'll see in the first document that I presented to you all, in the aggregate of polling, Governor DeSantis's polling numbers began a precipitous drop literally the day he signed the law that created this board and retaliated against Disney. And I think it's important for Governor DeSantis and everybody on this board to recognize that the American public and certainly Floridians across the state are disgusted with what has happened over the past year. And they're very concerned about the precedent that's being set for political retaliation. I do want to report, and that's for the members of the press, that Governor DeSantis has been very successful in one thing, and that's rewriting history. He has changed the narrative because we are coming across a lot of Floridians that believe that he has won in this issue when there is a federal lawsuit, a state lawsuit pending, but he continues to repeat that he beat Disney. This is long but over, especially before we, the citizens of the United States and the state of Florida, have our say when we amend the Constitution. And then lastly, I wanted to present to you all, I know that you all went through a process to rebrand Reedy Creek, as you have the map up there. Oh, you did change it to Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. But what it has come to symbolize to so many here in Florida and across the country is what we put together in this new logo for you all, right? So you all designed that logo. We're proposing that this should be adopted as your new logo, and that the board should go by the Corrupt Failure Tyrannical Overreach District, because that is what we are hearing from Floridians. and why it's urgent that everyone go online to DisneyDefenders.com, sign our petitions so that we can undo this and we can get back to this district being run in the spectacular way that it was run prior to this chaos and corruption. So thank you very much.
Okay, Chris, thank you very much for your public comments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And next, Nicholas McDonald, please state your name for the record, and if you're here in a representative capacity, tell us who you represent, sir.
So to the board and to the chair, thank you so much for having me speak today. So my name's Nicholas Maldonado, and I'm a current Walt Disney World cast member. So I've been with the company since 2018. And so since moving here to Florida from Southern California, where I transferred out of Disneyland to Walt Disney World, it's been a stressful move, but I'm here, and so I'm loving everything that Florida has to offer. But what has set me back in working with the company and hearing Debbie's comments, and to Annabelle, she's in my thoughts and prayers. But that's what we as customers do every single day. We bring the magic every day. And we bring magic to all backgrounds, all walks of life, sexual orientations, to all families that come through our gates. We welcome them with open arms, treating them as if they're our own family here at the company. But with this district and what Ron DeSantis has done, and don't say DeSantis, I was one of the ones to have participated in the Disney walkout. And what I'm seeing, what's coming out of this board is nothing but chaos and corruption. And what they're trying to brand at the company as is just diminishing what Disney achieves and what they have achieved with Reedy Creek. And I stand with Disney Defenders, I stand with Chris, and I stand with all those elected officials that are trying to bring back Reedy Creek and bring back the board that has stood with Disney, that has stood to bring that magic every day across the property. And but what Ron DeSantis has been doing, the reason why he's down in the poll numbers is because of what he has done to diminish Disney, and what Disney has done is brought so many jobs to the state of Florida, and I think that's what this board has lost sight of. Thank you.
And thank you for the good work that you do as a cast member in the district and the magic that you bring to the district. That's an important function. And thank you for your public comments, sir. Next, that concludes public comments today, is the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. We will now move to reports. And first, management reports, Mr. Gilzine.
First, I would like to thank Jennifer Johnson, the district's permit tech lead, for being a driving force in successfully bringing Relay for Life of Lake Bonavista to the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District after a 4-year absence. Jennifer serves as the Central Florida and North Florida area lead and is the point person within the district. Earlier this month, I was honored to attend the first lap at CFTOD's Maxwell Field with Jennifer, Yamil Rivera, and Miss Susan Shaw, who are all here with us today, and you will hear from them shortly. This year's theme is called Homecoming. The district is expected to support these efforts, and I applaud again Ms. Johnson, who is actually a cancer survivor herself, for her dedication to our community. Over 600,000 individuals die from cancer each and every year here in the United States. This number should be 0, and Relay for Life of Lake Bonavista and the Central Florida community will make a dent in that number. Before they discuss the Relay for Life of Lake Bonavista with us, I would like to formally introduce Ms. Riviera and Ms. Shaw. Ms. Yamil has volunteered with the American Cancer Society for over 24 years. She serves as the National Making Strides Against Breast Cancer volunteer lead and is also the co-lead with Ms. Johnson. Finally, I'd like to introduce Ms. Susan Shaw, Executive Director of the American Cancer Society. Susan, thank you for being here with us. Together, this dream team has made an impact within our region and beyond. Thank you for coming to discuss Relay for Life. Come join, if you guys can join us at the podium and do your presentation.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Johnson. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. I had this memorized, but now I don't remember anything, so forgive me as I read from my little card I made. We are very grateful for the opportunity to bring Relay back to the district. It was a dream that we've shared ever since COVID kind of shut it all down. So we're very excited for the opportunity and grateful to Glenn and the board and everyone for allowing this to happen and participating and supporting. The support so far is overwhelming. Today, all these surprises, I didn't know were going to be here. So I'm so excited. Relay for Life is a community event where participants can unite to celebrate survivors, remember loved ones we've lost, also fight back against this disease that's touched everyone. The district is making it possible for this community to come back to the track here, and we join together with the other members of our community to make a difference towards cancer. Through our teamwork, our community support and fundraising, we will be able to help fund more research and patient support services that help provide rides, and Susan's going to share in a few minutes some other things that our money that we raise here within the district is going to contribute to for this cause. Together we're going to bring hope and healing hopefully to the community and to everyone touched by cancer. So at this time I'm going to turn over to Susan so she can share some things with you.
Good morning, and thank you, Jennifer, and thank you to the board, the district, and to Glenn, and as I mentioned, to Jennifer. I am Susan Shaw. I'm the Senior Executive Director for North and Central Florida for the American Cancer Society. I've been with the Society for 12 years, and I'm proud to say and support the work that we do. At the Society, our mission is to end cancer for everyone as we know it. How do we do that? Through a variety of things. One of the ways is the impact through the communities. Relay for Life being one of those events. Relay for Life has been around a very long time. Last year alone, nationwide, Relay for Life raised $61 million in the fight against cancer. And that's because of communities such as yourself. Bringing the community together to fight, to create awareness, to educate, and to raise funds. We want to ensure at the American Cancer Society that everyone has the opportunity to treat, protect, survive cancer. This year alone, you'll be surprised to hear that over 2 million cases will be diagnosed of cancer. Relay is one of the ways that we bring hope, as Jennifer mentioned, to the community. So I thank you for your continued support and look forward to celebrating and walking the track with all of you.
Hi everyone, I'm Yamil Rivera, and I'd like to thank you all for your support. It has been, like Jennifer said, overwhelming. One of the reasons, I think the most important reason I need to share today is my why. And my why is my mom got diagnosed about 15 years ago with mantle cell lymphoma. And when we went to Moffitt Center to get her start her diagnosis treatment, she was told she only had 9 months to live. So my mom, being the spunky Hispanic Latina that she is, said, no way, we got to fight this. And I had been a volunteer for the American Cancer Society. It's the first time anyone in my family had been diagnosed. And so I clung to cancer.org. If you don't have that on your phone, please put it on there. It's going to give you relief when anybody asks you what to do when you hear those words. And we went to Moffitt Center and immediately started treatment. And her oncologist said, had it not been for the research that had been done by the American Cancer Society and the funding they had received at Moffitt from that treatment, my mom would not have survived. And she lived with us for 10 whole years. So I got to spoil her for 10 years. So I feel it's my duty to continue to support the American Cancer Society because I know it works. So we ask you for your support, and how you support is not only in money, but coming out on April 27th to our track and joining us. And if you could flip that slide, I wanted to see what this district has done for the American Cancer Society. When we had our very first walk in 2007, we raised $37,000, and that was just the hotels in this community. Then we reached out and we went all the way up to 133,000 in 2016, and even during COVID year, we raised $54,000, and that was stuff doing bake sales in our home and delivering lasagnas to people just so that we can continue the fight. So we really appreciate that you're bringing this back. As we said, it's our homecoming. So we appreciate your support with teams. Sign up a team. Sign up. You can be a virtual team if you can't walk the track with us that day. But that's how you support us. And get us sponsors. We need sponsors that will help us in the fight. So we appreciate your time today. And I expect all of you on the track on April 27th.
Well, thank you to the three of you all. On behalf of this board, I want to thank all of you for all of your efforts and what you're doing to fight cancer. And Mr. Gilzine, thank you for your initiative to revive this effort here in the district. And we'll be there in April to help you with respect to this event. Thanks again.
Mr. Chairman, before I go back and finish and members of the board, before I finish my report, what I love about this program and I love about Ms. Yamil's story, but what's good about this, it brings in not only our employees, it brings in the hotel's employees, it brings everyone together. And one of the things I've been sharing across the district and to anyone that would listen is that I'm very optimistic about 2024 due to the fact that, and now I'm jumping ahead, but due to the fact that this is one way of us building that community and going forward. And I see it each and every day. And what's awesome today is now you guys are getting to see it too. So that's awesome. All right. So after I paid some bills, back to my regular scheduled program. Thank you for your efforts in bringing Relay back to Central Florida. I look forward to participating with this district all-star team. Let's see. An ongoing effort to enhance our employees' well-being and to help reduce the stress caused by cancer. In 2023, the district implemented a new employee benefit to provide all full-time employees with short-term disabilities, if diagnosed, with one of the 21 qualifying cancer listed in Statute 112.1816. Employees can apply for short-term disability insurance. If approved, the district will cover the difference in their weekly pay. After the 3-month short-term disability, employees may apply for long-term disability insurance, and if approved, the district will cover the difference as well. Knowing the impacts of cancer and the effects it has not only on those diagnosed, their families, co-workers, and even the larger community, my administration has made it the well-being of our employees a top priority in 2024. Additionally, by prioritizing work-life balance our employees deserve, will translate to providing excellent services to all taxpayers, resulting in a seamless experience for the millions of visitors who come to the district to enjoy. As district administrator, I am proud to have the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District hosting Relay for Life of Lake Bonavista and Maxwell Field, and I invite all of our taxpayers, operating participants, CFTOD employees, and the Central Florida community at large to come and take part in this homecoming event. Now I'd like to segue into the recognition of our team members who have shown their continued excellence and dedication to our operation over the last 2 months. These team members have gone beyond the call of duty, and they're a large part of why this is known for seamless service and excellence. Starting with Miss Ella Hickley from our Building and Safety Department. Ella has been instrumental in helping coordinate our Epcot Building Code update. This diligent task requires Ella to work with our vendors and external partners to complete every aspect accurately. Our Epcot Building Codes are renowned for the detailed specs and requirements. Along with this duty, Ella was instrumental in maintaining the Acela programming and permitting software the district utilized. Ella has been invited to be a program presenter at various Acela conferences and presented at the Building Officials Association of Florida. Ella has played a critical role in supporting the building and safety team, allowing it to maintain the high operational readiness for which the department is known for. Joey, please join us at the podium, who is Ella's manager, who would like to say a few words. Joey.
Thank you, Glenn and board members. So if anyone knows anything about Ella, Ella's been here roughly about 22 years, and nothing happens in our department that Ella doesn't touch or have a part in. And she makes the department run seamlessly. But one thing that she does on top of everything else is our permitting program is the lifeline of what we do as building and a safety team. And Ella is one of the few people in the nation that is a Acela systems administrator for the civic platform for the permitting system, and you have to have at least 3 years of experience in that program in order to chain the certification. And Ella has over 10 years of experience just in that area alone. So where we just had a major upgrade recently, there was things that we have to reprogram or change and adjust in order for us to use daily, the internal customers and the external customers. And having Ella in-house just makes it seamless and allows us to use it efficiently and effectively without any downtime. So we appreciate that. And we would not be able to, if she was not here, we'd have to put in a work order, wait for someone, to come to respond, make the changes that we need that are necessary. But as Glenn mentioned, Ella has been requested to travel all over the United States to present on behalf of the cutting edge that the district does here as far as our permitting. And because we lead a lot of the online permitting systems that we have. And so she's been asked to travel to multiple states around the United States to present on behalf of the district and what we do here and how we do it. So it's an honor to have Ella here, and thanks for everything.
All right. So now this is the time in the program where we have to do a big photo op and check presentation. So come on, board members. Come on, Miss Ella. Let's move this around. Congratulations. Congratulations. Sorry for butchering your last name. I was a little nervous. Just jump in the middle. There you go. Who's taking the photo? 3, 2, 1. One more. Awesome. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Yeah, but yeah, she gets a congratulations. All right. Next, I would like to recognize Lance Koshin from our fleet team. Lance was critical in serving one of our emergency response vehicles, working continuously alongside with the fire department and the manufacturer team to resolve this issue. Working late into the evening, Lance fixed the vehicle, allowing a special event to continue as scheduled. This is not the first time he's gone up and beyond for the district or for the fire department, ensuring a seamless experience for guests to experience daily. Acting Fire Chief would like to come up and say a couple words. Come on, Chief.
Good morning, Mr. Gozine, Chairman Garcia, members of the board. I'm Eric Farrar, the Acting Fire Chief. The fire department proudly delivers world-class service with our world-class personnel day in and day out. But we can't do that without outstanding internal support. We have incredibly complex systems internally and rely on information technology and their support. Our facilities where we house our firefighting staff that becomes their home require maintenance, and our maintenance department, facilities department provides world-class service to us so that we can deliver service. And then there's our fleet department and Lance Koshin. Lance and I have a bat phone to each other, so when he gets a call from the fire chief, he knows it's serious. But on this particular day that warranted this award, we had our $1 million fire truck, our bucket truck, our aerial apparatus on stage for a cast member that was had taken a fall, and we needed to set up the bucket truck to do a high point which basically ties some ropes to the bottom of the bucket, and we hoist someone out of a vault who had fallen down in a vault. A great operation, was seamless, right? The cast member made a full recovery, but our bucket truck got stuck in the air. It's an incredibly complex vehicle, lots of sensors to keep us in a safe operating zone because it can go all kinds of distances and all kinds of angles. But in this particular day, it decided it didn't want to come down, and it was on stage. And we had Disney had alerted us that there was a nighttime event scheduled for this particular area, so pressure was on. We called the manufacturer. They came out. We couldn't bed the truck, and get Lance out there, and Lance stayed into the evening, crawling under that truck, doing all kinds of things that he does and knows best, that he is a master at his craft, and was able to bed the truck. And we were able to get the truck successfully off stage. Ended up being a computer issue, like the days of manual hydraulic levers, but can't fight technology. So this award is well deserved, because he really got us out of a bind, and he goes above and beyond consistently, day by day, to keep our fleet running, our frontline fire and rescue apparatus, especially during the demands of the system during the summer when we experience more technical issues, and he's on site to get us back up and running. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You're handing out coins?
Lance, thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Slide in.
I realized that.
Thank you, Dan.
No, it was all about the group.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. All right, good job.
Yeah, that's so confusing.
Well, yeah, it was harder than this.
Well, that's right. That was the point.
All right. Continuing the recognition of our employees, I would like to also thank Dwight Sweeting from our building and safety team. Dwight continuously excels in meeting the needs of our customers. Recently, Dwight answered 50 calls within 2 days, and by doing so, his department was able to service each call that came in while ensuring there was no delays in repairing or installing critical systems, allowing for contractors to continue their work without losing time or productivity. Joey, come back up to give a couple words about Dwight.
Thank you again, Glenn, board. So Dwight has been a member of our department for about 6.5 years now. He came to us in September of 2017, and Dwight works for the only group in our department that is 24/7. There's always someone from their team that's here. Now, there was a week in November of 23 last year that every one of Dwight's team members got sick and were unable to work. And so Dwight worked almost every shift for 2 days straight in order to keep everything going for the district. And so it was extremely above and beyond, because Dwight is a family man with 4 kids at home, and but he's dedicated to making sure that we at the district provide the highest service that we can. So we appreciate Dwight's efforts, and we just want to make sure we recognize him for that effort. So thank you, Dwight.
Thank you so much. All right, I think we got a check for you. Great work. Thank you, Dwight.
Congratulations.
You guys can come in.
All right. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Sandra Tumley Our construction project administrator, Sandra, has constantly gone up and beyond her job duties. Sandra has exceeded her current employment role's expectation and to team up with her supervisor to maintain the progress of the Environmental Science Addition project. In addition, she has been instrumental in establishing the creation of the standard uniform filing matrix for all construction management files on our network drive. These tasks are a huge lift, and well done, Sandra. Sandra's not here, but Craig will say a couple of words for her. Craig, where are you at? Come on, Craig.
Good morning, Glenn, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. I recommended Sandy Trombley for this excellence award due to her willingness to consistently go above and beyond her job duties, as Mr. Gilzine said. Her current role as construction projects administrator is a catalyst for the construction management department's quality control and financial oversight. Over the last year, Sandy's worked extremely hard, again, as Mr. Gilzine stated, to create a uniform filing matrix. So we have currently construction management software, and then we kind of mirror the file structure for that software into our own end drive records too, which makes it a lot easier to pull data out of it after projects are done, archiving and whatnot. Due to a major vacancy in the CM team's staffing, Sandy has stepped up her current role, helped me do day-by-day project management of our environmental services facility, which is a beautiful facility when it's done. She's been very helpful in that role, helped us succeed as a department in the construction management team. Again, her efforts are very valuable oversight and cost savings to all the district and the construction management team in making us successful too. Her work ethic is amazing. She's always willing to come in early, work late. Sometimes I have to kick her out of the office. Never complaining about the amount of hours she puts in to make our construction management team successful. I apologize that she cannot be here. She's very grateful for the award and the consideration. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, there's a lot happening at the district. Our teams are dedicated to providing excellent customer service while finding innovative ways to improve doing business as a government. We have upgraded systems and launched a massive effort to procure local services and goods. And our rebranding effort continues to move forward. In a collaborative effort with Acting Chief Ferrari and the entire fire department, we have completed the rebranding process for the fire department patch and will be unveiling the new department patch at a press conference located at Fire Station 1 tomorrow at 10:30. I am truly proud to lead this incredible organization rich in excellence and innovation. 2024 is going to be a monumental year for the district. I am excited daily about the opportunity each one of our employees has to leave a generational change behind. I want to thank our team members for their dedication throughout the transition, and I look forward to the year ahead of us. As I begin to wrap up, I would like to mention that we've included in the board package is our semi-annual easement report. This report identifies the easements of a routine nature that were executed for the time period of August through December 23. This reporting is provided as required under Resolution 565. Next, I want to update you on our procurement outreach efforts. As you heard earlier, I was honored to address the Lake Nona Chamber of Commerce earlier this month to discuss the Buy Local Now initiative. I also discussed the initiative at the Florida Economic Consortium Center Florida's Emerging Market Town Hall. That's a tongue twister. Where I discussed contract opportunities and the vision for the district's Buy Local Now program. Thank you to Ms. Candy Cole and Commissioner Rod Love respectfully for their invitations to speak to their members. Our procurement team is hard at work ensuring local businesses, small and large, can bid on district contracts. The district that never sleep is open for business, and through our Buy Local Now initiative, we will continue to work diligently to save taxpayers' money while providing contract opportunities to innovators and entrepreneurs headquartered in the Central Florida region. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, that concludes my manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Gilzine. We'll move on to new business, and we'll get to hear from some more of our very capable team members here in the district present on a number of action items. So as to 8.1, contract number 6464, Mr. Gilzine, do you want to introduce your team member?
Yes, sir. I would like to bring up Ms. Chris Ferraro, the Director of RCES.
Good morning, Mr. Gilzine, Chairman of the Board and members of the Board. This morning I am seeking approval for a contract for sodium hypochlorite, contract number C006464. This is essentially bleach that we use in numerous processes inside of the utility systems in our treatment of wastewater, potable water, and in our energy plants. Partnering with district contracting personnel, we had a successful bid for this service and this goods. We began the bidding process in October. We had 3 bidders for this service, and we are proposing and seeking board approval for a 3-year contract for sodium hypochlorite supply with Odyssey Manufacturing Company. They are located in Tampa, Florida. The total amount of the contract is $2,909,724.54. They are the low, responsive, and responsible bidder for this service. So we have a couple of slides now just to kind of talk a little bit more about the use of this product in the utility systems of the district. So it is used extensively in our water resource recovery facility, which is our rebranding of the wastewater treatment plant. It's a 20 million gallon per day plant that treats 4 billion gallons of wastewater each year. The sodium hypochlorite is also used in our potable drinking water system that produces 6 billion gallons of drinking water each year. Next slide. These are just some of the storage facilities. We're very cautious and safe as we take delivery of this product from our vendors. You can see that the tanks they're a double-walled tank, and they're inside of a containment system just to make sure we're safeguarding the environment. This is another example of the tanks at the wastewater treatment plant. And our final slide shows some of the storage containers that are at our chiller plants and energy plant facilities where this is used in the treatment and cleansing of our cooling towers. So with the board's approval today, we're seeking approval for this item. It will be funded through multiple accounts for the corresponding utilities and routine operating expense. The volume of this product used each year is about 640,000 gallons. And for a full fiscal year basis, it's about $1 million per year.
Okay. Thank you for that report. Are there any questions from my fellow board members? Hearing none, is there a motion that we approve this contract?
Move to approve agenda item 8.1.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Let the record reflect it passes unanimously. And thank you very much for that very comprehensive report.
Thank you. I have one more. I think I'm next as well. It is wastewater day for the utility system today for the board's approval. We are seeking approval of another contract for rehabilitation of the district's rapid infiltration basins over a 3-year time frame for rehabilitation of 12 of those rapid infiltration basins. Rapid infiltration basins are used to recharge the Floridan aquifer. They are on the western side of the district's property located along SR 429. We provide from our wastewater treatment facility reclaimed water, which is naturally filtered back to the aquifer and recharges. The rehabilitation work includes rehabilitation of the liner, synthetic geoliner, and then the sand that's on top of those rehabilitation units. This is a success story for our buy local bidding process. Got to give it on to build on Glenn's the success of this program. We did go out for bid in October. We received 2 bids. We're proposing award to the lowest responsible and responsive bidder of Carr and Collier Inc. for an amount of $825,700 for rehabilitation of 12 of the rapid infiltration basins. That we're going to do 4 per year, and we have a little map of the infiltration basin. So if you're driving up 429 and you think to yourself, wow, what is that? These are, they look like sand pits and sand traps as you come along. What's shown in green has already been rehabilitated, and what's shown in red is what's proposed in this contract. This does represent a savings of almost $300,000 over the prior work that was done to rehabilitate these rapid infiltration basins. Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report.
Well, that was a great report, too. Are there any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize for interrupting, but as Chris mentioned, this was a responsible bidder that was part of the Buy Local program. But what's really exciting is that they're headquartered right up the road in Apopka, Florida, where I had the opportunity to speak to the Apopka Chamber. So it just shows that this collaboration in this project is really working and is really allowing us to be a good neighbor to our community. So thank you, sir.
Mr. Gilzine, is this the first time that this company's?
Yes, sir.
So they've never done work in the district?
Never.
And through the procurement process that you implemented for the district, they had an opportunity that not previously they would have had to work in the district.
That is correct. And I do have to give a shout out to our procurement team. They work really hard, and I'm really proud of them. So Tiffany, hat tip to you and your team.
And so you've heard at other meetings that we're not only experiencing significant savings from the new procurement program, that we're affording opportunities to local businesses that never had an opportunity to work with the district before. So it's a win-win for us, a wonderful thing. Next.
Motion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mr. Chair, I'll motion.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Yep. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Let the record reflect that passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your reports.
Thank you.
All right, this is when I bring up Ray.
Next, Mr. Gilzine.
At this time, I would like to bring up Mr. Ray Crooks, who's the Director of Utility Business Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good morning, Mr. Gilzine as well. I'm here this morning because one of the critical contracts that the district uses to bring natural gas to this property to allow you to supply your customers with natural gas needs to be updated. The district has had these agreements in place with the Florida Gas Transmission Company since the early 90s, and we have continually rolled over those agreements. In a 2014 rate settlement, the district and other shippers were granted the right to continue with 10-year rollover segments. And this is one of those 10-year rollovers. This is a vital asset for the district to provide natural gas services. So for us, it's something that has to be done and should be done. In providing natural gas service for the district, this particular segment of the agreement is cost the district about $300,000 a year of a total $3 million of costs that we pay to Florida Gas Transmission Company. I was hoping the district would able to filter through the presentation, but there we go. Just to give you a little bit of perspective of the pipeline situation that the district participates in, on this graphic, you'll see 4 different pipelines available. The district participates in the dark blue line, which is Florida Gas Transmission Company. Again, the district has been dealing with them and doing business with them since the early 90s, and they've been a great partner for us. Next slide, please. The district has 8 points that they can purchase and inject gas into the pipeline, and you see them there at the different arrow locations on the pipeline. The pipeline extends from southern Texas all the way down to Miami, so it services people along and shippers along that pipeline. Roughly about 5,000 different miles of pipe is what FGT has. The district again has 8 points, and we also have a 9th where you can buy at the hub price, and we tend not to do that because that's more pricey when you do it that way, but we have lots of flexibility. Next slide, please. There we go. Next one. Oh, okay, well, let me just continue. Florida Gas Transmission Company has 5,300 miles of pipe. Again, it goes from South Texas all the way through to South Florida. It delivers about 3 BCF of gas per day, which is a lot of natural gas. Florida is natural gas dependent. And we have over 240 delivery points on the pipeline, which allows the district and other customers to buy gas and ship it and deliver it at their locations. It has 50 interconnects with other pipelines, and it has also direct storage connections with other pipes as well, should you decide that you wanted storage. The reason that we want to get this agreement put in place is because the 10-year rollover is a time-sensitive issue. Our contracts end pretty much in February of 2025, and I suspect your next question would be, why are we dealing with this in 2024? That's a cadence that the pipeline company itself determines. We don't determine as the customer when FGT should update their contract. So this is the cadence that we've followed for 25 plus years, and FGT is going to continue doing it that way. So we need this approved such that we can basically have our 10-year rollover for the next 10 years, which would take us to 2035. And suffice it to say that this is one of 2 contracts that the district has. So there's going to be one coming to you later in the year, probably April or May this year. But the district needs to approve these to continue its gas LDC business. And quite frankly, the things that also are important about this rollover is that there was an intervening rate case in 2022. And that rate case allowed us to get about a 10% rate decrease in our cost. So rolling over for another 10 years is not only beneficial operationally, but it's also beneficial from a cost perspective. So we're asking for approval for you to roll over the 10-year agreement with Florida Gas Transmission for the district to do that on behalf of its customers, its gas customers. And it also is a financial benefit to the district. So it's a good story all around. And I think it's something that we ought to do, not just financially, but strategically as well.
Well, Mr. Brooks, thank you for that report. Are there any questions from my fellow board members? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Please let the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
All right. And
Who's next, Mr. Gilzine?
last but not least, Ms. Chris is back to close us out.
Thank you. My apologies, but we're still discussing wastewater. This is a 3-part agenda item to set a budget for rehabilitation of 2 duplex lift stations. They're kind of a medium-sized lift station. Seeking board approval to set that budget at $3.25 million. Seeking board approval for $250,000 in design and support services, and seeking board approval to award a contract for finishing design services, bidding and construction service with CPH in the amount of $174,270.94. So we'll move into a little bit of conversation about the details of the project. This project does propose use of existing bond funds from the 2021-1 taxable bond series. So it's money the district already has in the bank that we're proposing to use for this rehabilitation project. So in total, the district owns 32 lift stations that convey wastewater from around the district's property to our wastewater treatment plant at the South Service area. 2 lift stations included in the scope of this project are Lift Station 46, which conveys wastewater from Port Orleans Resort. I hate to say this and take away any of the magic for anyone who's listening, but we do convey wastewater from some of our hotels and resorts, and also Lift Station 59 that is at the Boardwalk Resort. Those lift stations are about 30 years old. From a planning lifespan of lift stations, we think about starting to look at them about 25 years, and we perform annual condition assessments and prioritize the areas that need rehabilitation. These 2 are on the top of our list. We did begin work in this design in 2020. At that time, we envisioned rehabilitating in 1 year 4 lift stations. We did get an opinion of probable cost through our design process, and those costs were higher than anticipated. We did check with our peer utilities and found that it's following the trend. So we're proposing a reduction in scope for this particular project. We'll start with our 2 highest priority. Complete design, split the bid package from 4 lift stations down to 2, and then anticipating going out for bid and those subsequent construction costs. I think we have a couple more. This is just a little bit of an example of the deterioration inside of those facilities. These are components that are inside our wet well and our risers and our valves. Some of them are proposed to come out of the below grade pits and come up above for the safety of folks working in those lift stations. And then a number of the components just need replacement. It's a very caustic environment. These are the locations of the 2 lift stations. The one on the left is lift station 59 at the Boardwalk Resort, Disney's Boardwalk Resort, and the one on the right is at Port Orleans Resort. Just more pictures of degradation. Each lift station has individual needs. You can see there's some corrosion on the riser piping and also some corrosion on the valves inside of the valve pits. And this is at lift station 46. So there are 3 different items for board approval. We always start asking for approval of the overall project budget before we start asking to spend parts of that budget. There are prior approvals that we've discussed. There were RCES soft costs approved in 2020 in the amount of $50,000. We also had work done by CPH, which we are continuing. The original work done by CPH was done as a work authorization on a master services agreement that has expired. So we are continuing the work with CPH, and then moving forward we would be in our new procurement process. But we are asking to continue that work with CPH for efficiencies and economies of scale. So our first item for board approval this morning is to set the overall project budget at $3.25 million for phase 1 of our lift station rehabilitation project.
Well, why don't you do the other 2?
Sure,
and
certainly,
we'll
sir.
Take them all at one time.
The next item for consideration for the board is to approve design and support services for RCES not to exceed $250,000 for phase 1 of the project. These are for services for inspection, field engineering services through construction and project closeout. The third item for the board's consideration is the contract award to firm CHP in the amount of $174,270.94 for additional design services, bidding, and construction services for phase 1 of the project.
So thank you for another very informative report. Are there any questions from my fellow board members?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Thank you again for that report. I just wanted to ask, whenever I see phase 1, obviously I understand that means there's going to be more. So do you have any kind of a guesstimate or estimate on how many phases, how many years, and what the total project looks like overall?
Yes, sir. Well, for this in particular, we split this into phase 1 and phase 2. As I mentioned before, we took 2 lift stations out of this scope of work just to kind of have a more reasonable dollar proposal. So generally, we continually assess the lift stations owned by the district. You'll see us coming to you for lift stations approvals for multiple years. There's 32 lift stations, and we did a lot of building and construction in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So as they come of age, I can get you a full number. I don't know that we've estimated the full scope, but it'll be an ongoing story when we come into you and talk to you about the needs in the wastewater collection systems of the district.
And these are being prioritized based on need in terms of age and function?
Correct.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chair, just a couple quick ones. I mean, so we were obviously at the end of the useful life. I'm sure we anticipate future growth. Are we baking in sort of additional capacity, not just based on current need, but assuming a certain amount of growth going forward?
Yes, absolutely. We look at being able to support. One of the reasons I think we talked about why our rates are so competitive against our neighbors is we try to build so that we can support expansion within the current asset base, right? So we're not coming, if there's an incremental load to be added, we don't have to make a multi-million-dollar investment. So we're continually having that allowance and capacity to support growth.
Okay, thank you. I'll just say, I mean, one should never apologize for talking about clean water. I mean, it is. I think, as an infrastructure guy, I think this is kind of magical to see how this all works behind the scenes. So I appreciate you sharing that and educating with the public, and I'm supportive. Thank you.
Magical is a word we don't often hear, so thank you very much.
Any other questions? Hearing none, is there a motion we approve these 3 items?
Move to approve Agenda 8.4 and subparts A through C.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by indicating aye.
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 the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your reports here today. And we'll then move to public hearings, specifically Resolution 658. Mr. Langley?
Resolution number 658, a resolution in Central Florida Tourism Oversight District adopting a paid parental leave policy for district employees. This is a public hearing. We have a staff presentation followed by opportunity for anyone in the public that wishes to speak, they can. Thank you.
Okay. My administration has been working to ensure the district is a premier workplace in Central Florida and beyond. Today, we're announcing the parental leave policy that enables parents to take time off to make the memories as new parents or as their family grows. I want to note that these policies are not simply employee benefits. They are human policies. Our employees requested this policy, and I'm grateful to the district team for their feedback and input throughout this process. As the Florida's First Lady, Casey DeSantis, said, in Florida, we believe family is everything. My administration is committed to ensuring growing families have the time to spend with their loved ones. No two families are alike. The CFTOD parental leave policy ensures esteemed public servants who serve the district taxpayers can bond with their babies in an early months of their child's lives. In addition, the policy allows employees who have adopted children to have time to build a foundation and a bond with their child. When you work for a place that is here for you, when the times are tough and with policies and programs designed to support you and your family, it reminds you that your employer has your backs through the ups and downs. With that concludes my presentation.
Thank you for that presentation. Are there any public comments with respect to this resolution? Hearing none, is there any? Yes, sir. Chris?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. It seems like a laudable goal and something that will be wonderful for the employees. We know there's been a lot of folks that have been fleeing the district because of a lot of the corruption and chaos. I guess a question that I would have would be, considering that the board was created as a repudiation and a response to Disney's support of the LGBTQ plus community and speaking out against the Don't Say Gay law, I'm curious whether when you talk about families, whether that's going to be inclusive of all families. I'm wondering.
Yeah, well, first of all, we take issue respectfully with your characterization as you've just articulated.
Okay.
And you've been here before, Chris, and so you know what the rules are. And public comments are a time for members of the public to comment, but it's not a time for questions. If you have a question, as I've indicated before, visit with Mr. Gilzine after the meeting and he can answer any specific questions. And so, do you have any further public comment here on this?
Well, that is my comment, and I understand that the board and the executive director wouldn't respond to my question, but I do pose it as a question that I think would be of very much interest to a number of Floridians who you all are serving on behalf of. And I would hope it's a question also that you all would be interested in getting an answer to. So thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your comments. Any further comments on this matter? Yes, Chief. Sure.
Just talking to my colleagues saying I need the nudge to go up and make a comment. Members of the board, Mr. Gilzine, I just want to comment about this policy and how it impacts the workforce. This is something that I've advocated for a very long time in my career, my 24 years here. And just as a personal note, I have adopted 2 children. And so knowing that down the road with future adoptive parents, the impact this will have on their adoption experience, because it's already an emotional experience to begin with, and then allowing that bonding time to go through that process is just very profound. And I can tell you, I speak on behalf of the entire fire department that we are very appreciative of this initiative, and it does not go unnoticed. Thank you.
Chief, thank you very much for those comments. Any further public comments on this resolution? Any questions or comments from my fellow board members?
Mr. Chair, if I might, first I'd like to thank Chief Ferrari. As Administrator Gilzine said, the First Lady and the Governor have made championing parents and families a priority. And in September, they announced a robust parental leave policy for state employees. And in my interactions with our employees in the district and walking the district and the comm center and the fire stations, with environmental sciences, it has become apparent that we have so many employees that are opening their homes for adoption and fostering. And we have probably a higher percentage of adoptive parents than most jurisdictions, than most cities, and probably most employers. I am an adoptive parent. I know how difficult that process is. It is not easy. We do not make it easy in this country to adopt children or to foster children. We need to make it easier. There are so many kids who need that support of a loving family. And I can tell you, as someone who did not get paternity or maternity leave, my wife didn't get maternity leave for either of our children. I didn't get paternity leave. My adopted son was exposed to opioids in utero. And we were not the first family that was selected to adopt him. And when the first family got there, they decided they couldn't take care of him. And so after he was born, we were called, not expecting it, and we had to go up to Pittsburgh. My wife basically had to move to Pittsburgh and take care of him in the NICU. Thank God she's a pediatrician. So I said, if you think we can do this, we can do this. And we did. But having the support of our employers and having the leave would have been really game-changing for us, because it made a very difficult and expensive process just that much more difficult and expensive. And so I think this is a model policy for the state. I think that all employers, not just government, should follow the lead in encouraging everyone to consider adoption. And the fact that it includes fostering is really groundbreaking to me, because fostering, you take the difficulty of being a parent, you take the difficulty of adoption, you multiply it by 100, and folks who are foster parents really have a heart for our children, and there's so many, especially older children, that need that foster care. So I think this is a great day for the district. I think that it is something that is obviously going to apply to every single employee in the district, and that goes without saying. So thank you again. Appreciate it.
Wow. Well, thank you for those comments, and thank you for sharing your personal story with us. That was very powerful. Any other public comments?
Mr. Chairman, I wanted to echo those comments. I think that as a mother, I was actually working when I first became pregnant, I was working at a small business that didn't even have any kind of maternity policy in place, because most of the people who were working there were a little bit older. But fortunately, they were able to put that in place. But I can tell you, as a young parent and family, these are instrumental, and I think I want to commend our governor and our first lady for highlighting being family focused. It goes a long way, and thank you to Chief for your comments, because I think when you think about where you want to work, you want to know that they are caring about your life, not only what you're doing inside of your workday, but that your family, and that plays such a meaningful part of just the value and the morale that you have. And I commend Mr. Gilzine for expanding this to the district, and I believe it will pay dividends. I do want to comment on the commenter's statement. The Parental Rights and Education Act, which is often grossly mischaracterized, I would just echo that we follow the laws of Florida and the Constitution, and discriminatory action is not available in any way, shape, or form within the district. So if that needs to be cleared up, I think those kind of statements add a unnecessary division, and so I want to make sure that's very clear.
Thank you for those comments. Any further comments on this resolution? Hearing none, is there a motion?
I move to adopt Resolution 658 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Let the record reflect the motion passes unanimously. And we'll move on then to unfinished business and other business. Is there any?
No, sir.
Hearing none, we'll stand adjourned. Thank you all for attending today.